A lot of change, and when it comes to healthcare, change can be very worrying. Here's Sonya Varma with the story.
Along the St. John River Valley, life moves at a less frenetic pace. People here don't rattle easily, but a provincial decision to perform radical surgery on the region's healthcare has people shaken up.
I just felt that we all had been kicked in the gut and that rural people don't matter.
When the Health Minister, L.V. Robichaud, announced the restructuring, he was met by angry protesters. They insist Waterville is too out of the way. Ruth Boyer was in the crowd. She doesn't want government cutting away at her hospital in Perth. So, for the first time in her life, she was angry enough to demonstrate.
Well, I think that the turnout that we had was very good, considering that it was a cold, cold day. And Mr. Robichaud did not have the nerve to come out and face us.
Opposition continues to build. People fear lives will be lost, especially since the hospital in Perth will lose its surgery. The 1,200 operations done here a year will move to Waterville, a 35-minute drive away.
We have patients that come in with acute GI bleeds. They're vomiting blood by the bucket.
When these cases are rushed to hospital, Perry says they need immediate surgical attention.
You know, if they take away the surgery services, these GI bleeds that we're getting may not make it down to Waterville.
Also on the chopping block, the hospital's obstetrics unit. Last year, 190 babies were delivered here. Once it's closed, women in labor will have no choice but to make the longer drive to Waterville.
We're going to have a lot of car babies, we're going to have a lot of emergency room babies that then will have to be transferred downriver.
As for Perry, downsizing means she might also have to go downriver for work. Economically, restructuring will hit Perth hard. The hospital is the biggest employer. If it shrinks, so will the population. And this community of 1,900 can't afford to lose 50 jobs.
I think it's going to be an economic disaster for Perth, but that is not what this is all about. The main thing that this is about is lives.
Still, government isn't budging. The province says it has no choice but to downsize and restructure. It says this rural healthcare system isn't sustainable. And it insists no lives will be placed in jeopardy by restructuring.
We've looked at the standards across Canada, and we believe that with the plan that's in place, is providing safe care.
Right now, the hospitals have enough surgeons, but the province predicts a shortage down the road, and it says a new, modern hospital will be the best way to attract staff.
We could have set back, basically let things go on as the way they are, and yes, we probably could have survived for the next maybe 3, 4, 5 years if we were lucky. And but what we had to do is we had to look at the future.
And just look over my other ear.
Dr. Harvey Bass has been keeping an eye on the region's health system for 10 years. He says the province's vision for healthcare is skewed.
The studies that we looked into, financial information that we had, everything pointed to the best system being what we presently have. The more expensive alternative and the least sustainable alternative is the choice that the government has taken. And that's very frustrating for us.
Dr. Bass says they're facing the worst health crisis ever. He's especially worried about the people further north in Placer Rock. After restructuring, their hospital will be closed overnight. In a place where forestry is the industry, it's not unheard of for an accident to happen after 5 o'clock.
You have with people with saws, they accidentally get caught. Maybe a tree falls the wrong way and hits them, and with the equipment, maybe a guy just slips getting in and out.
In the future, emergency patients will have to be driven a half hour on not-so-great roads to Perth to be stabilized, and another half hour to Waterville for surgery. Residents say it's bad medicine for their healthcare system. And even though the province is sticking to its restructuring plan, opponents say they're not about to lie down and take it. For the National, I'm Sonya Varma in Perth, Andover, New Brunswick.